People Like You is the name of the podcast, y'all. I am your host, Timothy Hampton. Thanks to all our new supporters. Too many to name them all, of course, but Miss Tanya, Miss Andrea, William Smith, Eczema Tracks, 8 Heads, and many, many more. You guys are fantastic supporters. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment. Ring that bell right now. We will keep bringing it to you, so keep listening, keep watching, because we're getting stronger every day, and the time has come to free ourselves. Let's get started. We are back at it with some brand new beats, breaking down an age-old issue: violent, racist rage.
Can we just not?
It's all about American privilege and the parts of the American dream that allow individuals to threaten, abuse, beat, even kill other people and face no punishment. It's a protected part of the American legacy, a sacred and historic American tradition. It's trending in America right now. Kill a person, take the life of a human being, and face no punishment whatsoever. Infuriating for some, exhilarating for others. All motivated by nonsense, based on nothing, because it's rooted in racism. What do you get when you mix racism with violent rage? You get the title of today's podcast: Violent, Racist Rage, a protected American privilege. When an unarmed black person is killed by police, a random citizen, or a vigilante mob, and it makes the news cycle, there's often widespread outrage, not only in certain communities, but across many communities, because violent, racist rage and the unjustifiable killing of a black man, woman, or child too often go completely unpunished in this country.
Whatever.
If the killing is committed by a member of the privileged class, the possibility of getting justice begins to fade right there. Add money or status to that equation, and it's almost guaranteed that justice will be unobtainable. Isn't that funny how one can do something unjust and never see justice? I've talked about justice in a previous podcast. It's in the archives. If you've heard it, you know my position. Justice is in short supply. Not everyone is going to see justice. Not everyone is going to get justice. And we know for sure not everyone is going to face justice, especially in the killing of a black person. And the living victims, those left behind, are just asked to accept that this is how it is in America. This is how things are. Been this way for centuries. Thus, the killing of a black person is a protected American privilege.
Yes!
Socially acceptable.
Yes, sir.
As long as it's done by a member of the privileged class.
Okay.
Violent, racist rage is about privilege. Justice be damned. Speaking of justice and privilege, let's not forget the history, the long documented history of police violence against citizens of this country. Black men in particular have been regular targets of law enforcement for any and all manner of infraction, major or minor, for centuries. Violent, racist rage with a badge and a gun.
Okay.
Police are often judge, jury, and executioner for black people in America for any reason they see fit, all in the blink of an eye. And that's socially acceptable in the United States.
Why?
It's no secret that white supremacists have gained a strong foothold in law enforcement. White supremacists recruit heavily in law enforcement circles, and many white supremacists are encouraged to seek law enforcement careers. Law enforcement often leads the charge against black people, literally. It was a sheriff's deputy who led an armed mob to a black teen's house in North Carolina recently.
No way.
And I mean May 3rd of 2020 recently, out in Wilmington, North Carolina. New Hanover County Sheriff's Deputy Jordan Keita led an armed group to the teenager's mother's home and tried to force his way in. He thought there was a missing little white girl inside, his 15-year-old cousin. Damian Shepard opened the door of his mother's house to be greeted by Keita and an armed racist mob. This guy's a high school senior, just about to start his life. He gets an armed mob of privileged thugs, led by a sheriff's deputy, at his door on some vigilante shit. Violent, racist rage. This was a racist mob out to lynch a teenager who had done nothing wrong. Sound familiar? It should. American history is full of stories like this. But this was May of 2020. Now, to be fair, Keita was fired and is being charged. He's going to get that quick slap on the wrist and a new law enforcement job elsewhere. Average citizens often claim the violent racist rage privilege too. Another case in point, May 14th, 2020. A black college professor who owns a home in Hartford, Vermont, was driving near there with his 11-year-old son. He, the college professor, whose name is being withheld for his safety, was flagged down by 2 vehicles. He stopped, thinking they needed help. Not the case. The college professor, resident of the state of Vermont, property owner, and his 11-year-old son were threatened. They were told they did not belong in the state of Vermont in order to leave. Based on what?
I don't know.
Violent, racist rage. A protected American privilege. Violent aggression steeped in racism. The status quo's #1 shortfall, racism. It causes, justifies, and even sanctions repugnant human behavior.
New word.
Repugnant. Repugnant is an adjective. In this instance, repugnant means extremely distasteful, unacceptable, objectionable, or offensive. Repugnant.
Racial thinking is unsustainable. Racial aggression is unacceptable. Racial conflict is unavoidable. Unless we get out in front of the problem and make an effort to correct ourselves. I say us because we are one people. We are in this together. One people, one society, one world. And that is our podcast for today. We are people like you. I am your host, Timothy Hampton. We had music from Q Tracks, Freak Van Workham, Sully Rain, and Foreign Extra. I'd like to thank Toy Box Studios for the artwork, graphic design, and digital enhancements. We see you out there, Toy Box. We see you all. New supporters, thank you. Miss Andrea, Miss Tanya, Emil Herrera, the TC Connection. Thanks to all of you whom I could not name. Look out for my new ebook, Betrayed, Legacy of the African American Soldier, written by yours truly. It's about the historic sacrifices of African American soldiers and how America rewarded those sacrifices. If you hit me up, I'll send you a free copy. Check out my new children's ebook, Poverty Bear. You can get it on Amazon. It's a message to children 4 and up about what it means to be poor. New content on a regular basis. Like, subscribe, please comment. Be a part of the conversation. Ring that bell right now. People Like You is a Flashover Media production, and we will see you all next time.